Hidden Bristol, sponsored by First Great Western, building a greater West.
I've come to Avonmouth to investigate a record-breaking engineering project. Behind the door of this industrial unit, something remarkable is being born. The Bloodhound is a jet and rocket-powered car designed to travel faster than the speed of sound at 1,000 miles an hour. A scale model has already been built, and the real thing is now under construction. Okay, I know you're going to have to use your imagination a little bit, but I think it's pretty obvious at this end of Bloodhound that this is the cockpit, the bit where a man is going to sit and steer a rocket-propelled car over a distance of 12 miles. And if you think this cockpit looks a bit like the ones you see in Formula One racing cars, well, that's not surprising, because the lead engineer working on this project, Mark, hello, used to work for Williams, designing Formula One racing cars.
Correct.
Is this a racing car or is it a rocket?
By definition, it's a car. The regulations for land speed record cars, you have to have 4 wheels in contact with the ground at all times. It has to be controlled by a person, in this case our driver Andy Green, and we have to do 2 runs within 1 hour of each other.
Now, he's going to be sat in there behind a steering wheel of sorts.
Yes.
But isn't the whole idea just to go in a straight line for 12 miles?
The idea is to go in as straight a line as you can for 12 miles. Now, if you look at the previous car, Thrust SSC, that straight line was actually very unstraight. The car was very difficult to drive. But Andy will have lines painted on the desert as a guide to him, so he knows that he is on the right track to go through the timing gates.
Well, Mark, I would love a little guided tour of what the skeleton of Bloodhound anyway. Can you come and show me how she works?
Yep. The whole car is populated with various sensors for load, pressures, temperatures, speeds. Everything is done to keep an eye on the car from a safety point of view.
So she's a test bed on a 12-mile track in the Kalahari Desert.
We're going to the desert in year 1 predominantly, as we call it, laughably really, low-speed testing. We're aiming to go somewhere in the region of 800 miles an hour. We will use all the procedures we plan to use in year 2, including getting the turnaround procedure well polished. So we have a very real possibility of breaking the land speed record in year 1.
I don't know, Mark. I've noticed you've got a bit of plywood back here. What's that doing on it?
This is a mock-up of our air brake doors. The real air brakes will be made from carbon composite again, as per the monocoque.
Well, Mark, I take it there's more to the braking system than just the wing flaps.
There is, yes. We have the air brake doors. They're our primary method of stopping the car. But around the rear of the car we have 2 parachute tubes, and we also have wheel brakes that can be used around 150, 160 miles an hour. But the desert has very little grip. The wheels are shiny aluminium discs, so it's a bit like trying to stop a double-decker in the rain.
Yeah, Mark, I've noticed on the mock-up over there that there are no tyres on the car.
That's right. There's no tyres because they spin at 10,500 RPM. Tyres would just shred. So we've had to design and develop our own wheel specifically for this vehicle.
Well, at least you're saving a little bit of money on the rubber. Now, the most important question, of course, is what's providing the power? I think we need to go to the rear end, don't we?
Up there will live an EJ200 turbofan jet engine from a Typhoon Eurofighter. Down here we have a single hybrid rocket that's been developed in Norway.
Well, Mark, is there anywhere where I can learn more about the engines that are going into Bloodhound?
There is. If you step over to the corner over there, we have our rocket bay.
Terrific. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, of course, at the moment, Bloodhound's sort of mechanical entrails are all over the place. Here's another little bit of Bloodhound being put together by Siobhan. Hello. You're actually in the army, aren't you, and on attachment to this project?
Yeah, I'm a Lance Corporal, vehicle mechanic. So normally I'm working on things, tanks to quad bikes kind of thing, so coming on this is a bit different, it's a big change.
So somebody came up to you and said, how would you like to work on a rocket?
Well, the way it works is a bit of a process to get on it. It's 300 plus applicants, and I was one of the lucky ones to get through it all somehow, fight through.
Fantastic. What have we got here?
This is the pump that's going to pump peroxide into the rocket. The pump itself is just this little part here, but to pump it at the rate we need it to get into the rocket to burn as fast as we need it, we've got this Jaguar engine. This is quite a high-end 550 brake horsepower V8 supercharged Jaguar engine, and its sole purpose is to drive this pump to get the peroxide into the rocket at the rate we need it to go in. The percentage we're using is above 80%,
Right.
so it's a bit more than your hairdresser bleach.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the sort of stuff that turns you blonde if you're using it on your hair. In this case, that tank is fueling a rocket.
No, yeah, definitely.
I was told that the European Space Agency is developing hybrid rockets that would use a system like this, and what you're doing with Bloodhound could well benefit them too.
Oh yeah, but what we're doing has never been done before. So the research that's going into this, a lot of it is new research. So it's going to benefit a lot of industries, not just the space industry.
You're a pioneer. There's an element of boys with toys here, and girls, of course. We've met a female engineer. But enough about the machine. What about the man who's going to drive it?
Well, that'll be Andy Green, who's a serving officer in the RAF, former fighter pilot, and holds the current world land speed record. So he drove thrust SSC to 763 miles an hour, just beyond the speed of sound, back in 1997.
So he still wants to go faster. Why is he doing this?
Well, the primary aim of the project is not about speed. The aim of this project is to inspire kids to follow careers in science, technology, engineering and maths. So what we aim to do is showcase these subjects in the most exciting way possible by building the ultimate racing car.
Yeah, I was amazed. I saw your caption on the wall, and it's the first 3 most important things about Bloodhound. Now, this project's costing a great deal of money, isn't it?
Well, it's costing about £41 million for all of the research and development of the car, the build of it, the manufacture of all of the components, and a global education programme. You compare that to a supersonic fighter plane, would cost billions, or if you were a Formula One team to go racing, costs in excess of 200 million per year. So 41 million spread over 6 years is a great deal of money to you and I, but for doing something that's cutting edge, never been done before, it's pretty good value.
So where's all that money coming from?
It's all coming from corporate sponsors and public donations. So for £15 you can get your name on the tail fin, and it goes on making up part of the Union flag.
Now, Jules, I know you get school parties coming here, and one thing they love doing is having a go at driving Bloodhound. Well, they can't drive that, so what do they get to drive?
Well, we've got a simulator here, and let me show you.
Can I have a go?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I haven't passed my test yet. Right, okay. Now, is this the sort of cockpit that Andy is going to be facing when he's actually in Bloodhound?
Yes, it's roughly representative, so he's got his speed in the main section here, and then 2 screens either side.
In front of me is the horizon, and I can see a blue line. That's what I'm supposed to be following.
That's one of the lines drawn down the middle of the desert, and you've got the
Okay.
mile markers here either side,
Okay.
which will disappear very quickly. At full speed, you're covering a mile in about 3.6 seconds.
You'll probably find we will crash this quite quickly, and just be grateful it's not the real thing.
Just make sure you keep straight down the desert following
Yes.
that blue line. At 200 miles an hour, you want to press and hold your left trigger.
So the Jaguar engine is speeding me up somewhat. I feel car sick. 400, hit the rocket, hit the rocket. We are rocket powered. We are zooming up to 600 miles an hour. We are holding on the blue line. By golly, the G-force, there's a rocket behind me. 800 miles an hour, 900 miles an hour. We appear to have hit 1,000 miles an hour.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at that. I've done it.
You did very well, so you had a peak speed of 1,003 miles per hour. Your average speed over the measured mile was 983, but most importantly, you stopped on target for the pickup team.
Fantastic. Me doing 1,000 miles an hour. Wow, who'd believe it? Well, that's just playing, of course, but this is all deadly serious. Tucked away in this corner of Bristol, an engineering adventure, a project to put jet engines like this £4 million baby from Rolls-Royce together in a machine called Bloodhound to not only hopefully bring us a new world land speed record, but inspire a whole new generation of engineers to come. Well, that's it from Hidden Bristol for now. Bye-bye.
Hidden Bristol, sponsored by First Great Western, building a greater West.